Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and parents, graduating students. Today is a very special day for many reasons, best of all being the fact that His Royal Highness, the beloved Crown Prince Sidi Mohammed, has accepted to grace our gathering with his patronage of the first commencement ceremony at Akhawayn University in Ifrane. We are very pleased that all of you have been able to share with us the celebration of our first graduating cohorts, the result of collective efforts on the part of faculty, staff, students, and parents. We hope you will enjoy the ceremony and that you will come back for other graduating classes. Please welcome the faculty of Akhawayn University. Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and parents, ladies and gentlemen, the procession of graduating students. Left column will be the graduate students, right column will be the undergraduate students. Rashid Bout'am, student at Akhawayn University in the School of Business Administration, will now read a few verses from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أمن هو قانتنا آناء الليل ساجدا وقائما يحذر الآخرة ويرجو رحمة ربه قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب قل يا عبادي الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة وأرض الله واسعة إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين وأمرت لأن أكون أول المسلمين صدق الله مولانا العظيم.
The floor now is for His Excellency Mr. Najib Zarwali, Minister of Higher Education, Training of Cadre and Scientific Research.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين أصحاب المعالي أصحاب السعادة السيد رئيس الجامعة السادة قيدومي الكليات ومديري المراكز والمعاهد السيدات والسادة الأساتذة أيها الضيوف الكرام أعزائي وأبنائي الطلبة السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. إنه لشرف عظيم لي أن أحضر بأمر من صاحب الجلالة الملك الحسن الثاني نصره الله حفل تكريم أول فوج للطلبة المتفوقين والمتخرجين من جامعة الأخوين فهد بن عبد العزيز والحسن بن محمد. هذه الجامعة التي وضع حجر أساس بنائها صاحب الجلالة الملك الحسن الثاني يوم 25 يوليوز 1992 رفقة الأمير عبد الله بن عبد العزيز ولي عهد الملك فهد بن عبد العزيز خادم الحرمين الشريفين وأرسى قواعدها وأرادها مجمعا جامعيا متكاملا ونموذجيا يمتزج فيه في انسجام تام جمال الطبيعة والمناخ المتميز للعمل الفكري والدرس والتحصيل والتمرين البدني ووفرة العلوم الجديدة والتكنولوجيا المعاصرة والمعرفة على اختلاف ميادينها وأشكالها. أرادها جلالته مجمعا متميزا بطاقاته البشرية وببنياته وتجهيزاته الحديثة وباستعماله المكثف لأحدث المناهج البحث والتكوين ولأحدث التكنولوجيا ووسائل الاتصال مع كبريات الجامعات والمختبرات ومراكز الأبحاث والدراسات والمقاولات، مما يمكنه من ربط علاقات التعاون والشراكة داخليا وخارجيا ومن مسايرة كل تطور مستجد في عالم العلم والمعرفة. وأرادها أيضا مجمعا متفتحا على المحيط الخارجي محليا وجهويا ودوليا ومعتمدا على مرونة وسرعة الاستجابة لمتطلبات سوق الشغل ومستعدا لمواجهة ما ينبئ به القرن 21 من تحديات ورهانات ستفرضها العولمة والتنافسية. كما أرادها منبع إشعاع فكري وحضاري وملتقى للثقافات وتمازجا للحضارات وموطنا للتأخي بجلب هيئة تأطيرية من جنسيات متعددة تنويعا للخبرات وإغناء للتجربة. وببلوغ هذا المجمع طلب من ديانات وجنسيات مختلفة يتلقون تكوينا لغويا متعددا مع التركيز على اللغة العربية والاهتمام بالثقافة والهوية المغربية والحضارة العربية الإسلامية للعمل على إشعاعها في الخارج. وتتابع الوزارة نشاط هذه الجامعة باهتمام بالغ ومتواصل وتعمل على تشجيعه والمساهمة في تطويره بكل ما لديها من وسائل. وإن الآمال معقودة على هذه الجامعة لتتبوأ المقام المنشود والمحمود ولتضاهي بذلك أشهر الجامعات العالمية المعاصرة بتخريجها نخبة متميزة تغطي ميادين الأعمال وتساهم في صناعة القرار والريادة داخل أوساط الرأي العام وميادين الفكر والاتصال. أيها الطلبة الأعزاء والطالبات، ها أنتم تحظون بشرف تتويج أول فوج من هذه النخبة المتميزة ثمرة عطاء قلعة الفكر هذه، فوج تحدوه لا محالة روح وطنية عالية قوامها تأدية المسؤولية على الوجه الأكمل والتحلي بنكران الذات والرغبة الأكيدة في خوض معركة التغيير البناء والهادئ والحكيم الذي تنبني عليه سياسة حكومة صاحب الجلالة أعزه الله ونصره. وإني لجد سعيد بمشاركتي في حفل تكريمكم، وزدت فرحا وسرورا لما علمت أن الطلب على خريجي هذه الجامعة فاق عدد متخرجيها وجاء مصدره متنوعا وطنيا ودوليا. وإن هذا التشريف الذي أحرزتموه يستوجب أولا وقبل كل شيء شكر الساهرين على إدارة الجامعة من رئيس وقيدومين ومديرين وأساتذة وإداريين الذين لم يدخروا أي جهد للرقي بهذه المعلمة وإبراز معالمها وإنجاح خطاها ومسعاها في مناخ يعمه روح التعاون والمسؤولية. ولم يبق لي سوى أن أتقدم بأحر التهاني إلى خريجي هذا الفوج وأشد على أيديهم بحرارة متمنيا لهم التوفيق في مهامهم المستقبلية. وفقنا الله لما فيه خير هذا الوطن الأمين تحت القيادة الرشيدة لرائد هذه البلاد ومبدع نهضتها جلالة الملك الحسن الثاني نصره الله وأيده، وأقر عينه بولي عهده الأمير الجليل سيدي محمد وسنوه السعيد مولاي رشيد وسائر أفراد العائلة الملكية، إنه سميع مجيب. I welcome to everybody and my best wishes. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and parents, ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor of the Board of Trustees of Akhawayn University, Mr. Athman Benjloun.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, Mr. President, members of the faculty, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. In the name of Akhawayn University, members of the faculty, staff and students, we would like to convey to you how truly honored we are to have you present at the graduation ceremony of our university's first promotion. His Majesty the King has traced an ambition for this university, that of making it more specially a spearhead of peace, culture, knowledge for all races and languages, and a center for training of thinkers, creators, inventors, researchers, and humanists. At the end of 4 years of activity, much of the journey remains to be traveled to achieve this goal, but undoubtedly we are on the right path. With the royal solicitude and the commitment of board members and all concerned parties, faculties and students, will strive to make of AIU an international university of elite, excellence and merit. Yesterday, we held our Board of Directors meeting, during which a new strategic plan was adopted. Today, we can state that AIU has a clearer vision of its future. Our board was enriched by the co-optation of new international personalities, among them Mr. Othman El-Oumeir of the field of media, and Mr. Abdelatif El-Jamil of the industrial world, as well as Mr. Abdelatif El-Hamad and Mr. Jacques Delors. Thanks to the personal commitment and dedication of its president and hard work produced by his team, our university is entering in sustainable partnerships in the fields of research, development, training, and particularly engineering with international firms for the transfer of expertise and technology. All an illustration of the opening of the modern academic world to the business world, to the global corporation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the first promotion of Akhawayn University is made up of 173 graduates, including 94 in business administration, 41 in humanities and social science, and 38 in engineering. They are the ambassadors of AIU. The mission vested upon the first promotion is extremely significant because those who will come in contact with them will base their judgment of Akhawayn through them. On this special occasion, let us pay tribute first to those without whom these results would not have been achieved, members of the faculty. They come from all horizons: United States, Canada, United Kingdom, New Zealand, France, Portugal, Latin America, South Africa, Morocco, and elsewhere in the world. The education that you have dispensed, ladies and gentlemen, members of faculty, put our young graduates on par with the most reputable American and other international universities. Those of them who have had a chance to spend time in the United States through the student exchange program were proud of their education. To parents, I want to say, be proud of your children. You have made sacrifices, the sacrifice of distance, financial sacrifices, and you trusted a new educational system. Today, our shared achievements actually stem from shared values, such as the conviction that being open to the world, having an international and cosmopolitan vision of it, as this university has prepared your children to, is consistent with the Arab, Berber, African, Muslim, and Judeo-Christian roots of our kingdom. Dear young graduates, from this oft snowbound mountainous town, you have been trained to face the waves of progress in an ever-changing world. To the business administration graduates, I would like to share the reflection derived from our experience. Management is not limited to figures. It is a multi-dimensional field, whereby the art of managing the human element becomes crucially important and should be at the heart of our concerns. Managers will increasingly be backed by automated tools to assist them on how to reach financial balances and how to maintain them. Hence, management is introducing the human factor as a means for companies to prosper. Just as they are assessed on financial indicators, companies will also be, in the future, assessed on a human resource and social basis. A rating has been introduced in some European countries, ranking companies according to their social achievements. You, graduate in engineering, will take up responsibilities in an era of technologies permanently threatened by obsolescence. Engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, data processing, artificial intelligence, these are some essential elements of a huge puzzle that is a new pool of employment for Morocco. As graduates of AIU, you hold in your hands one of the best assets to enter this challenging and promising world. As engineers, you will be more and more solicited to grasp the stakes of new technologies, to convince your professional partners, be they shareholders, managers, public or private entities, to introduce and promote new technologies with the ultimate goal of upgrading our productive sector while enriching employment and preserving the environment. Graduates from the humanities and social sciences, you have been trained to take on responsibilities in the field of international relations, teaching, business world and civil society, public institution. Feel confident about having the required element to instill in any professional sector you will join a personal touch of culture and of social issues. At the core of your curricula are values such as ethics, transparency, and intellectual honesties. Values are indeed becoming the backbone of a new world order. Just as you find standards and norms in the industrial or in the services sectors typified by ISO standards, likewise, you'll find renewed standards or corporate behavior summed up in the concept of corporate governance. Then, ethics, transparency, intellectual honesty are typically required. Whatever your major, you have been fortunate to have had an education system that stresses critical analysis and creativity, allowing you to stand out and apart. Among your most valuable assets is adaptability from one environment to the other, the thirst and the capacity to learn. Once in the professional world, it will be your turn to share your knowledge and values. Don't consider your professional career as a steady course. While remaining in the same company or field, you may be called upon to change jobs. Consequently, you have to keep on learning through in-service training. Have the humility to know you will continue to learn throughout the rest of your life. The relationships you have developed here with professors, staff, and students are the foundation of sound ties, landmarks, and points of reference. Cultivate these bonds and friendships, as of all granted by wisdom, none is greater for better than friendship. Whatever your domain, talent and passion for what you do or intend to do should be your main engine for action and for hope. What matters the most on the road to success is to have faith in your skills, talents, and abilities, and to have a plan, a dream, and aim high. Whatever the choice you'll have to make, take it to the end, and above all, never give up. A'anakum Allah, que Dieu vous assiste. Good luck, bonne chance, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and parents, ladies and gentlemen, the President of Akhawayn University, Mr. Rashid bin Mukhtar bin Abdullah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear parents, students, and faculty, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to welcome you at Akhawayn University in Ifrane on behalf of our officers, faculty, members, and students. We are all very pleased to have you among us as we celebrate our first commencement. Today is a special day, and the fact that His Royal Highness Crown Prince Sidi Mohammed agreed to grant his patronage to it give it an exceptional aura which will make it unforgettable for all of us. This day, as a matter of fact, is not only our commencement day. It is, above all, the first concrete stone in the implementation of a wonderful project that His Majesty the King, God bless him, designed and launched 4 years ago. Our graduating students will have the honor to stand before you and receive their diploma from the deans of their respective schools. 86 will be awarded a master's degree, 43 in business administration, 20 girls and 23 boys, 14 in computer science, 6 girls and 8 boys, 29 in applied humanities, 18 girls and 11 boys. 48 will be awarded a bachelor's degree, 51 in business administration, 27 girls and 24 boys, 24 in engineering, 8 girls and 16 boys, and finally 10 in humanities and social science, 8 girls and 2 boys. Among those 84 bachelor's degrees holders. 51 received a degree with distinction. Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear parents, students, faculty, ladies and gentlemen. Not only these students acquire knowledge and gain professional skills during their study at Akhawayn University, but their personalities also evolved. They are now more outgoing, more communicative, more self-reliant, able to convince and undertake their own project of life. Building such profile is probably the most difficult mission, but it's also the most rewarding. It's an immense pleasure to know that most, if not all, of our graduates are well on the road to success. Some have registered for advanced studies within our university or within prestigious university abroad. Others have been offered positions in government or in business. Several are still faced with a choice between different offers. Many of the business companies that interviewed our student at last December expressed their frustration and regrets, not concerning our student profile, but because they could not find enough of them to fill all their needs. They all urged us to increase the number of our enrollment students. It is the best compliment one can receive from potential employers. This is why, on this special occasion, I would like to salute those who are behind this big achievement. I mean our faculty members, who really did a wonderful job. Their commitment, together with their knowledge and skills, was the key to this success. Excellencies, dear parents, students, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, to be successful ones is not the objective His Majesty the King assigned to our university. The objectives are far more challenging. They consist of building an outstanding university, unique by its traditions, rich by its attachment to the authentic values of our country, which are tolerance, generosity, and peace. They also consist of a real human education based on ethics and the respect of the rights and freedom of others. They consist finally of giving our students a professional training which is based on partnership with government and business and oriented toward high technology. With such an educational system, not only will the university prepare business or government leader, but it will above all prepare entrepreneurs and good citizens. This is indeed an exciting and extraordinary challenge. We in the university board, faculty members, university officers, students are prepared to face this challenge. I am honored to welcome you at Akhawayn University in Ifrane on behalf of all of us. And finally, I will be very proud to finish this saying that this is a special day, and this special day because of the bounty and solicitude of His Majesty the King. We wish to express our gratitude and attachment to His Majesty and with profound thankfulness to His Royal Highness Crown Prince Sidi Mohammed for His Highness' special interest in our university. God bless our King, and thank you very much.
The diplomas will now be awarded to the graduating students by the deans of their respective schools. Dr. Benjeloun, Vice President for Academic Affairs, will introduce the deans and will call on the students to receive their diplomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, diplomas will first be awarded to students who have earned the master's degree. Candidates in each school will be called by semester of graduation in alphabetical order. Some of our students are today absent due to obligations related to their professional or educational careers. Finally, I would like to ask you to please hold your applause until all of the diplomas have been awarded. Dr. Ahmed Driouchi, Dean of the School of Business Administration, will now present diplomas to students who have satisfied all requirements for the degree of Master of Business Administration. Summer 1996, Sofia Shihabi. Julian Furman. Spring 1997, Hisham Karzazi. Fall 1997, Nawal El-Ghaib. Nada Rih. Spring 1998, Majda Dirghoussi. Nadia Layashi. Shafiq Mir Ali. Hisham Ashqi. Munia Abdul. Samir Agnaw. Tawfiq Aliwi. نعمة أمزيان حسن الجاي. حسن عطار absent. ياسمين بحجي. منى بالمقدم. أمينة بناني. هنية بن شكرون. سلمى بن جلون. عادل بن جلون تويمي. أمين براوي. هشام بودرا. هاشم بوحميدي. ماها دسولي. إسماعيل شهابي. علي العلوي. محمد جواد القلاع. حسن الكركشي. إيمان الخطابي. أنس سجلماسي. ليلى قسوس. محمد حسو. عادل جبيلو. أمين خطيب. إقبال الأحبابي. يونس العيدي. سمية البوكيلي. هشام رابح. absent. محمد عصام صادق. رضوان تازي. أسماء تبر. يوسف زعيم الساسي. أسماء زكري. Thank you, Dean Derushi. Dr. Monsef Lahlou, Acting Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, will now present diplomas to students who have satisfied all requirements for the degree of Master of Arts in Applied Humanities. For fall 1996, Jamila Adani. محمد بن وراك. Ahmed Gouza. Fatima Ikhrezn. Maryam Lutfi. For spring 1997, Faiza Amhrouk. Najia Bargi. Mustafa Bilhashmi, absent. Miriam Benzouina. Hind Barada. Omar Boum. Maria Shagur. Firdaus Dakka. Mustafa Goumi, absent. Saeed Haddadi, absent. Jawad Haqqaqi, absent. Nada Inshawh. Sana Khabbar, absent. El Mustafa Khaldi. Lahbib Laqtaif. Safa Laghrisi. Murad Mujahid, absent. Munia Sqalli. Hanan Zilwani Idrisi. Saida Khalil. Reem Zaimi. Khalid Gouza. أسماء أبو الفتح. شمس صحباني. Thank you, Dean Lahlou. Dr. Bashir Raisuni, Dean of the School of Science and Engineering, will now present diplomas to students who have satisfied all requirements for the degree of Master of Science in Computer Science. Salim Munir Alawi, summer of 1997, absent. For fall 97, Tawfiq Dadush. Tawfiq Daoud, absent. Muna Jibr. For spring 98, Amin Ammar. Uthman Ayujil. Muhammad Nuruddin Bennani. Nadia Buhush. Jamal Faiq, absent. Hisham Hassar. For summer 98, Huda Al-Mhamdi, absent. Sana Maroufi. Nadia Taus. Fall 98, Nadia Tazil Bzour. Thank you, Dean Raisuni. Diplomas will now be awarded to students who have earned the bachelor's degree. Candidates in each school will be called by category of distinction in alphabetical order. I will now ask Dr. Ahmed Driouchi, Dean of the School of Business Administration, to present diplomas to students who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Lamia Bakali Hassani, summa cum laude. Haj Dris bin Shaib, summa cum laude. Sofia Bouzian, summa cum laude. Rida Shibli, summa cum laude. Anis El-Yusufi, summa cum laude. Sumia Fathallah, summa cum laude. Melika Gissous, summa cum laude. Jihan Qabbaj, summa cum laude. Mohammed Saad Ma'nino, summa cum laude. Camelia Ngadi, summa cum laude. Maryam Belhaj, magna cum laude. Abdul Malik bin Abdul Jalil, magna cum laude. نوال جيراري magna cum laude. حسناء كبوري magna cum laude absent. سليم مروان زكري magna cum laude. مراد أبو بكر cum laude. أسامة علوي cum laude. مريم بيد الله cum laude. بشرى بوشيحة cum laude. محمد شوقي cum laude. منير العالمي cum laude. أمين العماري cum laude. هند القيسي cum laude. نوال الخطار cum laude. الزبير الرحيميني cum laude. كوثر جنتني cum laude. هند قنديل cum laude. هشام الحلو cum laude. حنان المريني cum laude. عمر الأزرق cum laude. سناء الياموري cum laude. إيمان سلاوي cum laude. هند آية المدن. وداد باغوز. علاء رشيد بن بختي. مهدي بن سودة. علي شوقي. كمال الدراز. نسمة الدسولي. ريم الحنصالي. مهدي قدميري. فوز كنزاوي. عبد العزيز الحلو. سناء الفناوي. لميا الإمامي. إيمان محمدي. مراد عثمان محسن. عبد الله النجار. ندى وليدي. غيتا سميج. علي زنيبر. Thank you, Dean Derushi. Dr. Monsef Lahlou, Acting Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, will now present diplomas to students who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Social Sciences. أحلام بقال, summa cum laude. خليل دافي, summa cum laude. نوال عارفي, cum laude. محمد الرقيق, cum laude. فدوى بن شليخة, absent. ليلى بوعسرية. مريم الشرتي. هدى الإدريسي, absent. إلهام إدريسي بشر. مهدية منير. Thank you, Dean Lahlou. Dr. Bashir Raisuni, Dean of the School of Science and Engineering, will now present diplomas to students who have satisfied requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science in General Engineering. Karima Shihabi, summa cum laude. منيا الهلالي, summa cum laude. Karim Filali, summa cum laude, absent. Samir Labbar, summa cum laude. Nabila Sharqawi, magna cum laude. Iman Halil, magna cum laude. Usama Ktiri, magna cum laude. Omar Maouni, magna cum laude, absent. Rita Amour Tijani, cum laude. Salim Bilyazid, cum laude. Munir Bouzuba, cum laude. Hisham Shidami, cum laude. Mohammed Al Abdullawi, cum laude. Hassan Kittani, cum laude. نزهة الطوضي بن شقرون كوم لاودي. عبد السلام أفيلل. أحمد علمي العروسي. يوسف أقلل. فيصل باللمين. نزار بالرضا. سهام الشامي. المصطفى حدو. مهدي رافعي. هند سقلي شريف. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and congratulations to all our new graduates.
Would you please remain seated for a moment, please? Would you please remain seated? Thank you. Our program is not yet finished. Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and parents, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker of today is Mr. Jérôme Bendé, and before giving him the floor, I would like to present you a brief bio-sketch of Mr. Bendé. Mr. Bendé is currently director of the Analysis and Forecasting Office of UNESCO, an office responsible for the future-oriented programs of UNESCO. Its activities include, in particular, the organization of the 21st Century Talk Series and the 21st Century Dialogues, which aim at raising the awareness of decision makers, the media, and the general public to the major challenges of the future. Mr. Bendé is born in Friedrichshafen in Germany in 1951. He was educated at the École Normale Supérieure de la Rue d'Ulm at the universities of Paris 1, Panthéon-Sorbonne, and Paris 4, Sorbonne, where he obtained an MA in philosophy in 1972 and l'agrégation in 1974. He devoted the first part of his career to teaching and research, with special emphasis on the history of ideas. Since 1977, he has also been a journalist and a contributor to the cultural departments of several newspapers, such as the Quotidien de Paris, the Nouvel Observateur, the Nouvelle, Globe, and Le Monde. Monsieur Bendé joined UNESCO in 1984, where he has taken over several positions until the present one. Mr. Bendé has also many publications. I would like to mention just the latest 3 books, Cultural Pluralism, Identity and Globalization in 1996, Représentation et Complexité in 1997, and Ethics of the Future in 1998. Mr. Bendé, please.
Mr. Chancellor and members of the Board of Trustees, Mr. President of the University, Your Excellencies, the Ministers, Wallies, Governors, and Ambassadors, students graduating today, their parents and their friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you today on the occasion of the first graduation ceremony of Akhawayn University. Mr. Federico Mayor, Director General of UNESCO, has asked me to convey his warmest regards to all the eminent personalities who are present today, and all of those who, in various ways and with a great deal of foresight, have made this day possible. I think, of course, in particular, to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Sidi Mohammed. I'm greatly honored for the special privilege of delivering this keynote speech on the occasion of the university's first graduation ceremony here in this beautiful city of Ifrane. I know that this young university is very dear to the heart of His Royal Highness, the King of Morocco, who has desired that Akhawayn University should become a true center of excellence to train the elite of this country. In view of the quality of Akhawayn's academic programs, of the high level of its faculty, of its particular distinguished leadership, this enterprise looks already very promising. When UNESCO was established after the Second World War, its founders intended to build, alongside the community of nations, a community of minds, to use the prophetic words of Paul Valéry. Like the founders of Akhawayn University, UNESCO's founders considered essential that it should serve in the future both as an international beacon of light that would encourage cooperation in all branches of intellectual activity, and also as a beacon of hope, which would contribute to the advancement of the ethical goals to which the international community had committed itself: peace, intellectual and moral solidarity of mankind, prosperity, freedom, and justice. They thought, in their wisdom, that the advancement of knowledge and the advancement of ethics should go hand in hand. This is not an easy task. The world is a more complex place today than it was a generation ago. The students graduating today, our children, the children of our children, will need to be able to face new and unprecedented challenges, such as the growing asymmetries in wealth and development between North and South, as well as within societies, the spread of poverty, the new threats to the global environment and to human health, the very unequal access to education and to quality education, and to the potential of new technologies, the problems of global governance and democratic participation, urbanization, to name just a few. These challenges are not just technical. They are not like the millennium bug, which can easily, at least let's hope so, although at some considerable expense, be erased from computer programs with a few keystrokes. These challenges are also political and ethical. They require vision and anticipation. They require political will. They require a renewed commitment to the principle enshrined in international instruments such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is one reason why the Club of Future-Minded Citizens and Decision Makers seems to be increasing by the day. Many international organizations today, many national governments too, are setting up future-oriented programs and strategic planning mechanisms or foresight mechanisms designed to identify emerging global issues and trends, to analyze their implications, and to devise policy recommendations. They are calling for a new vision. Very recently, the United Nations General Assembly has endorsed at its current session Mr. Kofi Annan's proposal for the convening in the year 2000 of a Millennium Assembly to prepare for the 21st century, and it has at the same time proclaimed the year 2000 International Year for a Culture of Peace, for which UNESCO, and most particularly its Director General Federico Mayor, has paved the way. Anticipation, if I may say, is catching on. There is a reason why it is and why it should, and this is the subject of my presentation today. On the threshold of the 21st century, societies suffer from a dysfunctional relationship to time. A major contradiction is at work. While they need to project themselves into the future in order to survive and prosper, they must increasingly act in real time and adopt short-term strategies to cope with the challenges of globalization, for instance, while facing the onslaught of new technologies. There is no escape, it seems, from the tyranny of emergency. Financial markets, the media, politics, especially around election time, and development aid all march to the same tune. The horizon of modern societies has shrunk in time and in space. Entire systems of thought and long-term representation schemes seem to have collapsed, and with them the references to the idea of a common project. This culture of impatience has ominous consequences. All over the world, the citizens of today are claiming rights over the citizens of tomorrow, threatening their well-being and at times their lives. Far from a passing phenomenon, the logic of emergency is fast becoming a permanent feature of our societies and of our policies too. And yet, as evidenced by the contradiction of humanitarian aid or of the struggle against unemployment, it is at best unclear what impact this emphasis on short-term and emergency measures can have on long-term problems. How can we rebuild a sense of time in an age of accelerated change and globalization? I think that we first need to rehabilitate the long term. One way is to proclaim, and most of all to put into practice, our solidarity with future generations. The social contract model establishes reciprocal obligations between contemporaries, but fails to provide for future generations. An ethics of the future would, on the contrary, broaden the ethical community to encompass future subjects. Some will argue that future subjects are not subjects because they do not exist yet. I will answer that the Roman law, for instance, recognized in the successoral field the right of future generations, since it wisely protected the right of future children not yet born. If we do not act in time, future generations will not have the time to act at all. They will become prisoners of processes that will have become unmanageable: population growth, degradation of the global environment and the local environment too, growing inequalities between North and South and within societies, rampant social and urban apartheid, threats to democracy, ubiquitous mafia control, increasing gap between info-rich and info-poor. These growing asymmetries affect the daily lives of hundreds of millions throughout the world, especially in developing countries. 1/4 of humanity does not have access to drinkable, safe water, and more than half of humanity does not have access to satisfactory sanitary facilities. 30 million persons die each year of epidemics and infections caused by polluted water. 2 billion people do not have access to an electric grid. What can possibly be the meaning of information highways for them and of this computer society? This university, of course, is a good example of a spread, you see, of a computer and highways, you see, electronic highway society. But we must think about those who are absolutely on the sideway and excluded. 1/5 of primary school-aged children do not go to school in the world. How then are we going to reduce in real terms the number of illiterates in the world? Tomorrow, as Mr. Mayer often points out, is always too late. With this in mind, the last session of the General Conference of UNESCO issued a declaration on the responsibilities of present generations towards future generations. Another way to rehabilitate time is to promote long-term vision and policies. More and more, especially in the West, the acceleration of change is used as an excuse to legitimize our blindness to the future or to claim that the future is unthinkable. The French futurist Hugues de Jouvenel noted that the culture of the long term remains, I quote, the only context in which genuine development strategies can be implemented. Nearly 7 years after the 92 Earth Summit in Rio, the Agenda 21, the program of action adopted by the conference, remains, for the most part, a dead letter. When 2 years ago, the international community met to assess the progress made, some spoke of Rio +5 in the UN speak. Shouldn't we rather have said Rio -5? How long can we afford the luxury of inaction? What price for inertia? Isn't it time for an ethics of the future? Rehabilitating the long term means that social actors and decision makers will have to stop tinkering with the present and start anticipating. Great transformations do take time. 1, 2, sometimes several generations may elapse before we reap the fruits of our labor. The fate of future generations will increasingly depend on our ability to enrich the present with a long-term vision. What is required is not entirely new. The ethics of the future also is an ethics of farmers to some extent. It consists in transmitting a heritage. The reinforcement of anticipation and future-oriented strategic planning capacities is therefore an absolute priority for governments, international organizations, both governmental and non-governmental, scientific institutions, social actors, and the private sectors. And I'm delighted to see that in Morocco, this feeling now seems obvious, and you see anticipation is developing. Education will play a key role in this process, starting with basic education. Mr. Jacques Delors reminded UNESCO in the report of our International Commission on Education for the 21st Century that we also need to build a learning society in the 21st century, one which will value lifelong education for all, through formal education, of course, but also through vocational and professional education and training, and through a vast field of non-formal education, permanent training, and self-learning. Education, again, lifelong education for all, is the best long-term investment for societies because it is the key to the solution of all other problems. With it, our students will not simply be trained for something, they will also be prepared for anything. Whether today students decide to become biochemists or surgeons, philosophers or historians, managers or academics, they will all need to be prepared to take up new challenges, to ask new and bold questions, to open up new avenues of inquiry, to continue to learn throughout life, to anticipate on future trends and future needs. This will be all the more necessary since many of them, probably the majority of the students even here present today, will not exert one single profession throughout life, but will have a multifolded career. You see, I've got already 3 professions, but I believe that in the future, the students, you see, may move, you see, to more professions throughout their career. They will need, accordingly, the master, to master the art of what Edgar Morin calls complex thinking, la pensée complexe, and I would add the art of complex action. We will need most of all to look ahead to the ethical consequences of their decisions. The future is a question of values. It has been recalled this morning by one of my predecessors. Building an ethics of the future entails a radical evolution in our understanding of several key concepts which have undergone a rapid evolution. These 3 key concepts are responsibility, precaution, and heritage. Responsibility traditionally relates to past actions only. It now relates more and more to future actions and should increasingly be turned towards the distant future, as the German philosopher Hans Jonas suggested in the responsibility principle. What has been entrusted to us by nature and by past generations is fundamentally fragile and perishable. Life, the earth, the city itself. The cities are mortal, of course. Our sense of responsibilities toward them is a condition of their survival. But now we know that not only the cities are mortal, but the life on Earth is mortal. Our sense of really, indeed, no institutional system can endure if it is not supported by a will to live together. And when this will collapses, says Paul Ricoeur, the political organization unravels and quickly. In similar fashion, the principle of precaution, affirmed at the Rio summit in 1992, has now become an accepted staple of international negotiations. Precaution is a necessity in an age of rapid scientific and technological change and at a time of doubt and uncertainty. Strategic planning, foresight, and anticipation must indeed learn to take into account the unlikely, the uncertain, even the unforeseeable. It is precisely because the future is not written somewhere, you see, that we must anticipate. In a word, we must learn to manage long-term risk. For example, the significant warming of the Earth's climate, the desertification, the extinction of species, and decrease, you see, of biodiversity. Precaution means renewed emphasis on ethics and politics in all fields of human endeavor, technology, and science in particular. The use of modern biology, for example, needs to be considered a matter of ethics. As you well know, this is the task of the International Bioethics Committee of UNESCO. The third point, you see, and the third key concept, you see, of this evolution I evoked is heritage. Heritage is something we build each day. Notre héritage n'est pas précédé d'un testament. Our heritage is not willed to us. A leading poet of the resistance to Nazism, René Char, wrote after World War II. The role of heritage in human affairs is not so much to transmit objects or to perpetuate values, as it is to establish a dynamic sense of solidarity between generations, that is, to give a meaning to the perpetuation of the human species. In this perspective, the meaning of heritage now extends beyond stones and artifacts. It encompasses the intangible and the symbolic, the ethical, the ecological, the genetic. With this in mind, UNESCO's General Conference issued at its last meeting a very important declaration, the Declaration of the Protection of the Human Genome and Human Rights, which has also just been endorsed by the United Nations General Assembly following the initiative of France. And this instrument is already the standard-setting instrument of reference in the bioethics debate at the regional or the national level. Heritage thus becomes a foundation of human responsibility toward future generations, provided it is conceived as a living treasure. For, I quote the Belgian philosopher François Host, in the absence of a link between the past and the future, says François Host, any reference to tradition is doomed to appear as an ideological conceit, or worse, as a regressive fundamentalism, to quote Mr. Host. These principles and others should guide our thoughts as we approach the 21st century. As Blaise Pascal wrote, travaillons donc à bien penser, voilà le principe de la morale. Let us endeavor to think well. Here's the principle of morals. Between the social contract and utopia, we must steer a path that will bring closer to us the horizon of the future through the designing of intermediate projects still within our reach. caring about the future also has profound policy implications, whether in the West or the East or the South. The crisis of politics has coincided to a very large extent with the crisis of the future. Time has come to remind ourselves of Max Weber's warning that the proper business of a political leader, I quote Max Weber, the proper business of a political leader is the future and responsibility toward the future. The business of politics, in other words, is to manage time, to shape time. An ethics of the future is quite simply an ethics of time which rehabilitates not only the future itself, but also the past and the present. Indeed, our behavior toward the living is usually highly correlated with our behavior towards the past and future generations too. For instance, those who would have us ignore the plight of the poor and the excluded are usually the same who would have us turn a blind eye on disappearing languages or indigenous people or ignore the hole in the ozone layer. How could we therefore oppose the exercise of solidarity toward present generations and toward future generations? An ethics of the future is not an abstract concept. It's not another piece, you see, of your United Nations rhetorics. It has very concrete implications in terms of the policies we need to implement in the face of challenges crucial for our survival as a species, and I would say for the future of our societies and for the future of our nations. To mention but a few, I have in mind such challenges as eradication of the poverty, narrowing the gap between the haves and the have-nots, and the availability of water for everyone, the need, of course, to slow down population growth through the education of women in particular, and to, of course, to advance the society through this education of women, and the risks associated with global warming, which call for drastic improvements in energy efficiency. And this morning, I've heard before me another excellent example of implication of an ethics of the future in the business field. It has been evoked by Mr. Benjeloun when he mentioned the social rating of companies, not only in Europe, I must say, but also now in the States, as a matter of fact. And I think this social rating of companies shows that ethics of the future can go hand in hand with economic success. Since contrary to the, I would say, to the cynical received idea that, that's a tough policy within the enterprise, and you see the breaking, you see, of trust within the enterprise would bring major profits. Many studies now demonstrate, you see, that those companies, those transnational companies, which have the best social policy and the best human resources policy, are also the more profitable. You see, the prices of their shares increases. It's a very recent study which has been published by Le Monde in particular. And to close, an ethics of the future will in fact be useless. It will be useless if it is not translated into educational, scientific, technological, economic, financial, and political measures, laying the foundations for a genuinely human, sustainable development. For millions of human beings, an ethics of the future would bring the promises of the future and some very concrete results closer to the present. A leading personality, a leading figure, you see, of American public life said it takes a village to raise a child. As Craig Kilberger, who founded the organization Free the Children at age 12, put it, I quote Craig Kilberger, it also takes a child to raise a village. To paraphrase a famous quote, the future delayed is the future denied. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and students, ladies and gentlemen, would like to ask you for your patience for an additional 10 minutes, just about the time we get first to hear a representative of the faculty of Akhawayn University and then a representative of the graduating students. I'm calling now on Dr. Amin Ben Said. Doctor, Dr. Amin Ben Said is an associate professor of computer science, and he will say a few words on behalf of the faculty.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة على مولانا رسول الله. Your Excellency, advisors and ministers of His Majesty, ambassadors, Wali and Governor of His Majesty, President of the City Council, and distinguished guests. Dear Chancellor, dear President, and members of the Board of Trustees. Dear Vice Presidents, Directors and Deans, dear colleagues, dear graduates and parents. In an ordinary graduation ceremony, I would have addressed the graduates exclusively, but this is no ordinary event today. It has been an honor for us faculty to serve and strive for excellence at Akhawayn University, a university that is the idea and the graduates exclusively, but this is no ordinary event today. It has been an honor for us faculty to serve and strive for excellence at Akhawayn University, a university that is the idea and the making of His Majesty the King Hassan II, a university he has described as a dream he has always nourished that has come true with the help of Allah, a university that embodies the brotherhood between him and His Majesty King Fahd of Saudi Arabia. I'm truly honored to speak in this ceremony, which comes under the patronage of His Highness Prince Sidi Mohammed. But I confess, I'm also nervous today. Especially nervous after a talk by someone with the scientific stature of Mr. Bendays. Dear Chancellor, dear Presidents and members of the Board of Trustees, a few weeks ago, the Akhawayn University community had an opportunity to meet for the first time with its Chancellor. Today, it is hosting the whole Board of Trustees. We are overwhelmed. We hope, and you have given us reason to be confident, this conveys commitment on your part, and we perceive it as a real opportunity. Dear President, we have a lot of work to do and long ways to go. Still, I would like to tell you today, it has been a joy to work with you for the past few months, but then again, you have been so close to us, you must have felt this already. Dear colleagues and friends, it is an honor for me to give the faculty talk today. I am flattered. I feel especially privileged to represent many of you whom I consider my seniors, whose scientific merit is that of my own professors, and who have taught me a lot over the past few years. Thank you for your vote of confidence. I hope I will earn it today. Dear Vice Presidents, dear Deans and Directors, you belong way earlier in my speech, but I had to talk about professors before I addressed you with the following. Thank you for bearing with the rest of us for the past 4 years, while you've had to build the foundations of Akhawayn University. Dear parents, thank you for your sacrifices. Congratulations are in order for you today. We have been delighted to serve you and your loved ones, and we hope we have lived up to your trust. أيها الآباء والأمهات، شكراً على تضحياتكم. نقدم لكم تهانينا اليوم. لقد تشرفنا بخدمتكم وخدمة فلذات أكبادكم. نتمنى أننا كنا في مستوى ثقتكم. As I take a moment and reflect back on the past 4 years, I would like, excuse me. I had to talk to students, right? So I might as well do it. Dear graduates and friends, it is for you that I'm standing up here today, and I thank you for standing up for me. You have acquired the precious ability to learn on your own and the invaluable skill to communicate proficiently. In the process, you have helped building Akhawayn University. You now stand ready to move on and embark in your professional career. Our heartfelt congratulations go to you today. As I take a moment and reflect back on the past 4 years, I would like to say to you, on many occasions, you have made us proud of belonging to the same institution as you do. You have done it consistently through your charity association and through your other associations and student government and through your sports teams. Most noticeably, you have done it on a happy occasion by volunteering and organizing from start to finish the first ACM computer programming contest for the Arab and Africa region. You then went on to win this contest and qualify to the World Finals. You have made us proud. You have also made us proud on a tragic occasion by helping the people of Al-Hajb during the September 97 affliction. You will be sorely missed around here. You have earned our friendship, and you have done it through your spirit of compassion, volunteering, serving, and helping others. My message to you today is, please take this spirit with you to your workplace. I will borrow words from the 1988 US presidential campaign and say, I would like AUI graduates to be a kinder, gentler breed of graduates on the market. To those of you that are versed on American politics, notice that I have not made any promises about taxes, so you can feel more comfortable reading my lips. Dear graduates and friends, on the job, a few things will be different for you. For instance, you will have a boss, you will have customers, and you will have to manage a career. Depending on the constraints and the nature of your new work environment, you may find it harder to keep up the spirit of volunteering, acting as the servants of your customers, and helping out your coworkers, and you may become ready to give up this spirit. I would like to give you today 3 reasons to fight back when you reach this point. Reason 1, fight back and keep up the spirit for the sake of your country. As the world is moving into the era of full globalization, it has also been switching to service-based economies. Many foreign companies we will have to compete with have for a few years now been working on the use of advanced information technologies towards optimized business processes, customer profiling, and mass customization. To beat the competition, these companies aim at producing services for each one of their millions of customers as if they knew each one of them personally. Sure, Moroccan firms will also have to incorporate advanced information technologies into their business process in order to face the competition. And sure, as a computer scientist, I am an advocate of using advanced information technologies for Moroccan companies to offer first-class service. However, at the end of the day, for improved service, it takes the bright man and woman who exert themselves to serving their customer, and for improved efficiency, it takes the bright men and women who strive to help their co-workers. This requires keeping the right attitude and spirit. If Morocco is to become competitive in the global service-based economy, you have to fight back and keep the spirit alive. Reason 2. Fight back and keep up the spirit in order to prosper in our kinder, gentler national environment. The criteria for success in Morocco have evolved. It takes more than just being good to be successful in Morocco today. In order to be successful, you must also help others. Excuse me. I'm making this assertion today based on an increasing number of indicators. They include the activities of His Highness the Crown Prince in heading the campaign against poverty and the Ramadan Iftar campaign. Indicators also abound in this very auditorium today. They're overwhelming to the microphones too. Indicators also abound in this very auditorium today. They range from the commitment of AUI's Chancellor through his financial group BMCE to build 100 schools in rural areas, and they extend to the social orientation of the gouvernement de l'alternance. You have to fight back and keep the spirit for your success in Morocco today. Reason 3, fight back and keep the spirit for your own sake. My commencement ceremony talk would not be complete today without a quote from a great thinker. So I searched for one to support this third reason for you to fight back and keep up the spirit of volunteering, serving, and helping others. I did not have to search for long, and I found something even better than the thoughts of a person. It is a saying that my mother clipped for me a few weeks ago. She thought I would be interested. I think you would be too. It is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Please forgive me to read it in Arabic first. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يحشر قوم من أمتي على منابر من النور يمرون على الصراط كالبرق الخاطف نورهم تخشع به الأبصار ما هم بالأنبياء ما هم بالصديقين ما هم بالشهداء إنهم قوم تقضى على أيديهم حوائج الناس اللهم اجعلنا منهم وصدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Here is an approximate meaning of this hadith. Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, says, there will be people from my nation who will be resurrected on tribunes of illumination. Their faces will be so illuminated, they will impose reverence on those who see them. They're not prophets, they're not the most righteous, and they have not died in the path of God. They are people who serve and help others. Dear graduates, congratulations again. We wish you the very best for your future endeavors, but remember, keep up the spirit of volunteering, serving, and helping others. Thank you very much.
This was not in the program, but as we honor our graduating students, we can't resist but have a thought for the late Samia Sbehi, who we have lost in the events of Al-Hajb. And I would like now Sofia Shihabi, as a representative of the graduating students, to take the floor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على مولانا رسول الله النبي الأمين. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear parents, fellow graduates, good afternoon. I am thrilled and honored to stand here today as one of Akhawayn University's first cohort degree holders in a day while celebrating the culmination of our efforts and the crystallization of a dream. Looking 4 years back on January 16, 1995, the day His Majesty inaugurated the university, we were all filled with pride and excitement to embark on this new endeavor, reflecting on a journey that was about to begin, expecting the best and ready to accomplish the impossible. Our gathering today is a proof this dream came true, so congratulations to you all. Throughout this magnificent journey, we have lived together moments of sorrow and frustration, overcoming homesickness, personal worries and tribulations, pulling all-nighters in crowded computer labs trying to finish some projects, while thinking about this unfinished swimming pool, those insipid well, oh, those insipid mashed potatoes we had for dinner. But we also had our moments of joy, relishing the splendid nature of Ifrane, celebrating personal and collective victories, or moments of vicarious pride after a successful theater play, a hot sports game, a challenging Olympiad contest, or today, the celebration of the first graduation ceremony. Yes, we did it. We have shaped the history of Akhawayn University, and the unique experience we've been through have definitely shaped our lives and will forever be engraved in our hearts and memories. I believe 10 years from now, we will still savor every moment, and we will hope to relive this unique experience. Probably not ourselves, but perhaps our children in the future. Who knows? So, do you see the end of the tunnel now? Believe me, it is just beginning. But if you made it here, you can make it anywhere. Your first year of work will be defined by the unexpected. No one's first experience is exactly the same. I have myself graduated 2.5 years ago. Akhawayn University was a springboard for me to initiate a successful career in my area of expertise. My dream came true, and so will yours. I have already heard many of the positive marks my fellows have been making out there in their respective workplaces. I've also been pleased to follow the progress of our university with the launching of the Student Government Association, the career placement, new international events, and an ever-increasing number of exchange programs with internationally renowned universities. It is quite hard for a new university to achieve excellence. I believe we did achieve a good part of it. And I'm sure the advice and suggestions of the graduating students will be instrumental in the advancement of our university. So let us all coalesce into a powerful force through our alumni association. A fundamental tenet of success is hard work, cooperation, and ambition. So please let us seize every opportunity to transcend our own limits. No mountains too high for us to climb, no rivers too wide for us to cross. Let us be up to His Majesty's vision and expectations. Let us meet the challenges He set up for us and for the university. Once again, congratulations. Good luck in your future endeavors, and thank you.
And now, a final word for the President of Akhawayn University.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty, parents, and now graduates. At the end, I would like to thank all of you for attending this commencement. But I have to make some thanks. This ceremony wouldn't have been possible without the assistance and mobilization of some persons. Allow me to name first His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah Fraj, who is from the start of the university standing behind it, and who mobilized himself for at least 2 months to make this ceremony a success. Thank you very much, Sir Abdel Fattah. I would like to name too Mr. the Governor of Ifrane, who is permanently and effectively with us. Thank you very much for your help too. And we have our board, who is supporting me very hard. And our meeting of yesterday showed me that I'm not alone in this university. We have a board, and this board is behind me, and of course, with our university. Thank you very much. And finally, the last but not the least, I would like to thank particularly Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Abdelatif Ben Shrifa, who was today our maître de cérémonie, and who, with the organizing team and our students' government and our student volunteers, made a wonderful job. Thank you very much. My last word will be for our graduates. It will be congratulations and good luck. And thank you very much.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, faculty and students, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last time I will say this. Please stand for the national anthem and remain standing for the recessional. Thank you.